Hey, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and today I am unboxing the Light Code Luminary Oracle. It's a 50 card deck and a guidebook by Kayma, Englund and Kreick. Alright, so I'm excited to share this deck with you because it's a very different deck. It's totally different from any of the other decks that I have. So let's take a look. Okay, so let's start with the cardstock and talking about that. So the backs of the cards look like this, and the cardstock is really high quality. It's really nice cardstock. It's my favorite kind actually because it's a little bit matte and it's thick enough to be good quality, but not so thick that it's hard to shuffle. But it's really nice quality cardstock. All right, so the cards are all in like very beautiful pastel colors. Now, each card has a different light code, and if you don't know what a light code is, I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to read it out of the book because I feel like the book explains it way better than how I could explain it. So the guidebook is really good. It gives you a little intro into, you know, what are light codes, what is light language, and there's a page for each card, and there's a little meaning and suggestions for each card. Okay, so I'm going to read to you this part. The Light Code Luminary Oracle contains channeled galactic, angelic, and elemental light language codes, activations, and messages. Each oracle card is a combination of symbols, colors, sacred geometry, and light that transmit layered, multidimensional information and energy. The Light Code Luminary Oracle is different from others in that each card not only offers guidance and support, but also serves as an energetic activation. All right. So there you have it, and there's more to it than that, but that's just giving you kind of a quick synopsis. So I'm going to slowly go through this deck just so you get an idea of what these cards are like. They're out of order because I've been using them. I've shuffled them and I've been using them, and I'm finding that I use this deck a little bit differently than my other decks because there's, you know, the symbols, the light codes on them, and I don't always know exactly what they mean. So what I've been doing is in the mornings I'll draw one card, sometimes up to 3 cards, and then I spend a bit of time just meditating on the image. And I will say I do feel something when I sit with these images. I get like kind of like a tingly. See, this one gives me tingles, kind of like ASMR tingles a little bit. It's like I get this tingliness at the crown of my head, and sometimes like on my face or my neck and my shoulders. It depends on the symbol. I feel different symbols in different parts of my body and in different ways, but really interesting. And I find the guidebook pretty helpful too. It gives like lots of good suggestions and stuff. Ooh, I like this one. That one's really pretty. I also find that these cards work really well kind of mixed in with my other cards. So I've been experimenting with doing kind of like a regular tarot card reading and then having one of these cards go at the top of the spread. So like at the top of the reading, I'll either draw it in the beginning or kind of at the end of the reading, and it it just kind of brings a higher spiritual dimension to the reading, which, oh, this is nice. I like this one, which is really interesting. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. These cards work well on their own, but I do find it's been really interesting incorporating them into my tarot readings. And I actually just discovered light language not too long ago. I don't know if you've ever listened to or watched videos of people speaking light language. So these are light codes, and light language is something else. And if you haven't checked it out, you know, Google it and and have a look. It's really fascinating. And if you're interested in learning more about this deck or purchasing it, I'm going to put the link just below this video so you can check it out. And I'm going to do a sample reading with these cards, just so you see how these cards are in action. Ooh, this one gives me tingles. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle the cards, and we will draw 3 cards. Okay, so I'm going to ask the cards, what kinds of things can you help me with the most? Like, what kinds of things, what kinds of readings do you like to do? Ooh, high heart. Okay, beautiful. All right. So if you know the heart chakra is associated with love and connection and relationships and empathy and compassion. And the higher heart chakra, which kind of sits just above the heart, kind of between the heart and the throat chakra, the higher heart is associated with kind of the similar things, but it feels different. So, and you can even feel it now if you get into your heart, feel your heart, and then move upward just above your heart. It's more, I don't want to say like more spiritual, but it's like there's more sense of wisdom and connection and empathy. It's like divine compassion. It's so much more, I feel like when I'm in my heart, sometimes I get tears like to my eyes, like it's more emotional, kind of more ooey gooey. And then when I move up to my higher heart, there is this real lack of fear and true feeling of like compassion and understanding. Like it feels different. It feels lighter, and I guess like more of a higher vibration in some ways. Okay, so what does this mean? So we've drawn this card. This card is telling us what this deck will help us with the most. And I think it's going to help us get into our higher hearts more so. So to really kind of elevate your energy and to elevate your perspectives so that they're more aligned with your higher heart. So I think the readings you do with this deck, or the readings that I'm going to be doing with this deck, will help me move away from fear and help me really come up to more of a place of love and compassion and trust. Okay, let's have a look. Let's draw another card. Okay, so next let's ask the question, who should use this oracle deck? who could most benefit from these cards? Ooh, light language. All right. Beautiful. These two cards look super pretty together. Okay, so light language. I think anyone who is drawn to light language, anyone that's interested in light language, so if you don't know what light language is and you look it up and you think, oh, this is really cool, I love it, then I think this deck is for you. If you think, this is weird or I don't get it, then maybe these aren't the cards for you. So I think anyone who has an interest in light language, even like that term, light language, I think when I first heard it, I was like, ooh, what is that? I was like intrigued right away. All right, so let's ask the deck another question. And I'm just gonna move these cards over to make room. So let's just ask the deck, what message do you have for us? What do you want us to focus on? What do you want to tell us? What message do you have for us? And we have Limitless Abundance. Beautiful. All right. Okay. So I'm just going to spend a moment just looking at this symbol, this image. I feel like the message, I mean, obviously the card says limitless abundance, so I think that the message is related to that. And the message is that we trick ourselves sometimes into, or we don't necessarily trick ourselves, but we sometimes get into this mode of thinking where we think that things are limited. And I've recently had this experience with creativity. So I go through phases where I feel like I have limitless creativity, and then phases where I feel like I just can't get any ideas for anything. And then I get back into that phase of feeling like there's limitless possibilities and creative ideas out there to tap into. And so this card seems to be saying that there is limitless abundance available to you, especially when it comes to creative ideas. And this card asks us to rethink what we mean by abundance. Because I know when I first started hearing that word abundance, I associated it with money and material things, material wealth. And this card is asking you to rethink what that term means. When you hear the word abundance, what do you think of? And what are some other things that it could be referring to? And more than anything, I think that this card really invites you to get into that kind of abundant feeling, that feeling that there's limitless abundance. Because I feel like when I get into that feeling creatively, more ideas and more creativity comes to me, not less. And it sometimes even gets uncomfortable. It's like, oh, I have too many ideas. I have too much inspiration. I don't know how I'm going to do all this stuff. Like it starts spiraling out of control, but in a good way. And so this card is really, it's an invitation to get into that kind of mindset. However you do that. There's many different ways to get into that mindset. You could use affirmations. You could write it down. You could start by identifying all the ways that you feel abundant. And as you start to identify those things, start to feel it, that feeling of abundance, and then watch it spiral out into other areas of your life. Okay, so that has been my unboxing video of the Light Code Luminary Oracle. And again, I'll put the links below if you're interested in finding out more about this deck or purchasing. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful rest of your day.